and welcome back to another video. To start off, if you couldn't tell, I am sick right now, so if my voice sounds off, that's why. I'm sorry. I will try to speak as clearly as possible, but I know I'm gonna have a lisp. Anyway, back onto the main topic of this video. Finally, it has arrived. I stayed up all night to attend, well, not all night, but I stayed up to attend the launch party that happened on Twitch, where Kodaka had question and answers, and also a couple other people were there, such as Takada and the voice actors for Miu. But I stayed for the launch party. It launched on Steam, and I downloaded it, and I have Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. It has finally been localized in the West, and I am so happy. I hope you know what this means, that today will be my first analysis, thoughts type of video of what I think of the game. I have not completed the game yet. I've only completed the prologue. I'm planning to do these videos as soon as I finish whatever I'm playing. For example, after I finish Chapter 1, I'm going to record for my thoughts of Chapter 1 immediately after, because I want it to be fresh in my mind, and I don't want to already know what's going to happen so that I can make predictions. Because of that, please do not spoil the game. Even though I have the game, I have not completed the game. I've only done the prologue. So please, still, no spoilers in the comments. If you would like to talk about any of the events in the prologue or before the prologue, feel free. You can go right ahead. Talk about it as much as you want. That's okay. When I make my next video, you can talk about that too. But for now, just please keep it to yourself and just wait a little while. We'll get there eventually, I promise. Okay? If you have not seen the prologue or played the prologue yet, please don't keep watching. I don't want you to be spoiled. I want you to enjoy the game. So, there will be spoilers. I think that should be clear, but there will be V3 spoilers in this video. Without further ado, let's begin with my thoughts and analysis regarding the prologue of Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. I am going to try to go in chronological order of the events that happened in the prologue, but if I get some things mixed around, or if I just change up the order a bit, I'm sorry, that's my bad, but I'm going to try to be in order as much as possible so that you understand what I'm talking about and can reference back to what I'm talking about. But on that note, to begin, I'd like to talk about the intro, how they start the game when you press new file and play. You start off by seeing a sort of trailer with clips from all of the previous Danganronpa games, and it falls into Danganronpa V3, and I loved the way they executed this. I didn't expect it at all, so I was really surprised when I saw the clips from Trigger Happy Havoc, and I love the transitions too. Even the transitions between the music and the visuals, they were so fluid. Like the way they switched between the first game and then the second game and then Despair Girls and all that. I really enjoyed it, and they did really well switching into the anime, which I'm glad that they were able to compile it so well. And then they switch you into V3, and it gets you so hyped. I was so ready to start this game. I've been waiting so long. So, we finally begin, and we begin with Kaede waking up in a locker. I noticed right off the bat, and throughout the whole time I was playing, the art is amazing in this game. They have so much more art than previous games. Like, the characters have more sprites, there's more clips showing art of the characters. Like, for example, when Kaede was talking about her ultimate talent, there were 4 different pictures of her. And that's crazy to me, because there is so much good art in this game. It adds to the aesthetic. It's beautiful. And along with the aesthetic was the music. I am so glad I was finally able to hear the music for this game, because it is a masterpiece. I adored it. Currently, my favorite song is Nightmare in the Locker, but I haven't heard that many, so we'll see what I enjoy later on. But I think the music and the visuals and the transitions and even the controls, which I'll get more on later, were very, very nice. I really enjoyed the vibes this game is giving off. Now, when you do first wake up, you are wearing a different school uniform, or more specifically, Kaede is wearing a different school uniform, and when you meet Shuichi, he is also wearing a different school uniform, which really confused me at first because I didn't understand why they weren't in uniform. When you went into the gym and all the other students were also not wearing their traditional clothing and were instead wearing uniforms, I kind of realized, oh, okay, it's a pattern. It probably has them changed later on. And when they did change, I did not expect a magical girl sequence. I'll just say that. It very much surprised me. But it was interesting. I didn't dislike it, I will say. Right from the beginning, when they were wearing different clothing, and they gave you an intro like the characters already knew how they got there. They were kidnapped. That was really surprising to me, because they have not done that in previous Danganronpa games, where they show the transition of how the students got there. I mean, for the other games, they got to Hope's Peak, passed out, and then went back inside, and then later on you learned that they lost their memory. But in this game, just right off the bat, they got kidnapped, and now they're in a new place, and more specifically, the new school. And I find that very interesting. And then I also loved the aspect of running from the Exisals, because in all honesty, I was genuinely scared, because I am not good in situations where they throw you in and say, okay, now run away, and you have to run away from the Exisals, and they're chasing you, and they're giant robots, and I was genuinely terrified I was going to get a game over in the first 5 minutes of the game. But luckily, I did not. I don't even think it's possible to get one, but you might be able to. I don't know. I'll probably try that out later. But after you escape the Exisals, you meet all the students, and you get your first memory, which I found very interesting, honestly. When they were talking about giving you your first memory, I wasn't really sure what they meant. I mean, they made it quite obvious that they were talking about how you didn't remember your talents, but the idea of having a first memory means that there is probably something along the lines of a second memory or a third memory, and I'm not exactly sure what those memories are. Because it's the first memory and you're just starting out, maybe each chapter you get back a memory, or each time someone dies you get back a memory, or something along those lines, or maybe you just don't get back memories until the end, in which case I'm not sure why they called it a first memory, but that's just my personal guess. But when you do get your memory back, there is what appears to me, I don't know if anyone else saw this, but it looked like coding. And that was very interesting to me, how they had Kaede floating through code, and then you again wake up in the locker, which was, I was so confused. I was like, what? And you say the same exact lines that you did when you first played the game. Kaede falling over, and then getting a bump on her head, and it's just the same thing. And then the difference starts when Shuichi comes out of the locker, and this time, instead of wearing a school uniform, he's wearing his traditional detective outfit uniform type thing. I'm not exactly sure what that's called. But he steps out of the locker, and then you have different dialogue, because Kaede talks about the piano, and Shuichi calms down a lot faster than he did the first time, which I think really goes to show you how different people are with and without their ultimate talents. It's a really big theme in this game that ultimates can handle situations a lot better than normal people can. For example, in the previous Killing games, the characters, if they were normal, might have already gone insane after 1 or 2 killings, but the ultimates were able to make it all the way to the end, which I just think is an amazing aspect to the game. It really adds to the characters, in all honesty, and it was really cool to see the difference between if they had just been normal people between being ultimate students, because they still had the same personality, but just the fact that they were ultimates changed their personality in ways that you wouldn't have noticed unless you've gone through the same scene again, I feel like. Now, after you wake up for the second time, you go to do character introductions, which I will say I almost kind of regret doing the demo because the introductions were basically the same, and I feel like they would have had a much bigger impact on me had I not played the demo. But all in all, it didn't spoil anything, and I got a taste for the characters, so I think either way I would have been fine. But you do end up meeting the characters again, and you do get a couple more lines, so you really get to know them, I feel, more than you do in the demo, especially because you have Shuichi with you, who is actually a student who's going to be attending the academy with you. So his reactions were adorable, in my opinion. I love Shuichi way more than I thought I would. I already predicted that I would like him just because he's the type of character who I would enjoy. But honestly, I think he might be my favorite character in V3 right now. But that's just my personal opinion. Tell me your favorite in the comments. I'd love to know who and why. But I really enjoyed seeing his interactions with Kaede as well, because I can already tell right off the bat that you're going to have a good connection. I think a ship, but I'm not going to say that right now because I don't want to make any predictions without evidence, even if there's something as simple as who's going to be shipped together. Because in all honesty, a lot of the characters, I have no idea who's going to be friends with each other, just like Sonya and Gundam, or Mahiru and Hyoko. I never could have called those relationships right from the beginning, so I'm really interested to see what kind of friendships and potentially love relationships form between characters during the course of the game. And speaking of characters, I want to go through each character pretty quickly individually, just to talk about how my opinion of them has changed since my character trailer analysis video, and some of the things they said during the game that have been confusing me or piqued my interest in some way. To start off with, Kaede is all I would imagine she would be and more. She's so optimistic. It's so nice playing as a female protagonist again. Like, playing as Komaru was very fun, but I think playing as an ultimate female is very different, because she's way more optimistic in my personal opinion, especially compared to Hajime. So just seeing her be so happy and try her best, I love her so much so far, and I just know that I'm going to become way too attached. The next is Oma, who is, again, pretty much what I expected him to be. In all honesty, I really enjoy his character. I can tell that he's probably going to be a bit of a pain during the class trials, but I think it's characters like him who make the trials interesting. Whether or not he makes it more difficult, it just adds to the experience. The next is Rantaro, which actually, he brought up a lot of questions for me. Like, when you first went into the gym, he said he might know what's going on, and when the Mono Cubs came up, he said that he was more sure in his idea of what it might be. But then, after you regain your first memory, he doesn't bring it up or mention anything like that again, which really makes me suspicious of him. Not particularly suspicious that he's a murderer, which I'm not sure if he's going to kill someone or not. In all honesty, I kind of feel like he might, but I think that he's hiding something, definitely. I have no idea what his ultimate talent might be, but if him remembering his ultimate talent made him hide things from the class, that piques my interest a lot more than I originally was. It was really nice to see more of him than it was, because it was really nice to see more of all the characters than just the demo, because you really get to know them a lot more in the full game because there's more dialogue and all that. But he was definitely an interesting character to get to see more of, that's for sure, and I'm really interested to learn even more about him. I intend to spend time with him in my free time events during the actual game. After I finish the game, I think I'm going to record my playthrough of Island Time and hanging out with everyone. So if anyone's interested in that, I'll probably do it. I don't know. I think it'd be fun just to see a happier time than the main game of killing and death. Of just getting to know characters and everyone getting mad at me because I dislike certain characters. Then, I already mentioned how I feel about Shuichi, how I love him. He's so cute, how he just gets embarrassed, and I really enjoy how, despite being a detective like Kyoko, he definitely seems a lot more emotional, or at least more aware of other people's emotions. Maybe, I know that Kyoko is aware of other people's emotions for sure, but he definitely shows a lot more emotion, if that makes it clearer. I also want to talk about the scene with Miyu when she called him a pervert because of his hat, and he got very offended, and then afterward he got quiet, and it's most likely because of his hat. I don't know if it's because he's hiding something under his hat or because his hat means something of importance to him, because even when he was in his original uniform, he was still wearing the same hat. So I know they're going to touch on that later for sure. They wouldn't just ignore that for whatever reason. I'm not sure exactly why he wears it, but I'm very interested to know. Whatever the reason is, I'm sure it's something sad. But nonetheless, I really am interested in getting to know more about Shuichi's character and about the case he solved that made him the ultimate detective. Then next is Tsumugi Shirogane, and I honestly I like her. I think she's really cute. I found her dialogue really funny when you first meet her, when Kaede is talking like an old man, but I think she's going to be interesting. She's not exactly how I thought she would be, rather than your traditional otaku, weeaboo type of person. She's a lot more calm, collected, and just seems overall mature. Despite the fact that she was ignoring you, I still feel like she's more adult than some characters are. And speaking of adult, moving on to Miyu, I feel like the only way to describe how I feel about Miyu is that I love to hate her. I can't bring myself to just say I hate Miyu, because I don't. I don't hate her because I can understand the good and bad parts of her. It's just, when you call my waifu a bitch, I kind of get a little bit offended, okay? It sticks with me. And when you tell my husbando his hat sucks, that also kind of sticks with me. But I think it's cute how she backs down when she's confronted, and even the fact that she wanted to get high, I thought that was hilarious. So I can understand how some people like her. Some aspects I'm still clueless about, but I can get it. I can get on that train. It's just, for me personally, I don't really like her. And after playing the actual game after the demo, I think I like her even less. But I mean, I still enjoy her character, and I'd rather have her in the game than not in the game, if that makes sense. Because sometimes, even if it's a character I dislike, that doesn't mean that I don't want them in the game. It's just my personal opinion on their overall personality. Next up is Maki. My opinion of her hasn't really changed. I'm still kind of indifferent about her. Overall, I think if she were to die, please don't tell me if she does or doesn't. I think I would be sad if she were to die. But I don't know. I don't think I'd be upset about her being a survivor. I wouldn't be upset about that like Hiro. I was very angry about that one. And then another person is Korekio, which, again, my opinion hasn't really changed of him either. I like him. I think overall he's a good character. Nothing really jumps out at me, except for maybe his love of the beauty of humanity. I'm really interested to see what exactly he'll do in order to see beauty. It worries me what limits he has set on himself of where he's going to stop. When does he cross the line? When is it too much for beauty, is what I want to know. Then Kibo, again, my opinion hasn't really changed of him. I find him so cute. I love him so much. Honestly, I'll be like heartbroken if he dies. I just think he's too innocent. And then Kirumi, I actually like her a lot more now that I've played the game. I feel like the ultimate maid, like just a woman who could do anything, even a man, I'm just saying in this case, just this little lady, I find that so attractive. I love her so much. Like, definitely on the waifu list. If she kills someone, I will be disappointed, but I mean, I won't completely reject the idea of it happening. And then Kaito, I actually like Kaito a lot more than I thought I would, especially after playing the demo and the game. Since my character trailer analysis video, I showed a lot of dislike for him, but I like him a lot more. I still don't like the cowardly aspect of him, but it's understandable. There's always going to be cowards, and I think everyone has some coward in them. He seems a lot more optimistic and reliable than I thought he was, which, I mean, if you try to rely on him in some situations, I'm sure he'll back off, but just his optimism about getting over the wall and that sort of thing, it really, I like it. I think he's a good person. And then Himiko, I love her Japanese voice actor. She's so cute. I just want to listen to her talk all day because her voice is just adorable. I like Himiko quite a bit. I wouldn't say that she's a favorite. I mean, I'll definitely be sad if she dies. It's kind of like Hiyoko. I don't like the childlike or lolly characters dying. It just makes me sad. I don't like it. But I don't particularly love her, but there's nothing I really dislike about her, in all honesty. I think she's completely fine. Anji, my opinion hasn't changed. I'm really indifferent about her, and I just kind of want to watch and see what she does. And then Gonta, I still find him adorable, and I love how they revealed that he still gets angry, even, well, not necessarily angry, but he still gets very passionate, even when you're talking about good things about bugs. So you can tell he's very, very passionate in his ultimate fields, and I found it hilarious how he was raised by wolves. Like, poor Gonta, he's so sweet. I really hope nothing bad happens to him, but bad things always happen to good people, so I really can't get my hopes up too high. Another character who I originally disliked in the trailers and have actually liked a lot more is Tenko. My opinion of her has really changed considerably from the trailer after seeing her personality in game. I think she's like actually really cute, how she is in the demo in the game, how she gets embarrassed around girls and she tries her best in Neo Aikido. I think her personality is very likable, and the fact that she hates men so much to the point where she calls them degenerates, I've kind of gotten over my slightly triggered factor about it, and I find it hilarious. Which, in all honesty, if someone actually did that, I think I would avoid them, but in a fictional scenario where funny and random things happen all the time, I love the fact that she considers them degenerates. But I'm worried she's going to mess up the trials quite a bit. Or not exactly mess up, but more specifically slow down. And then the final person, I think, is Ryoma, the tennis player. And I actually like him more than I thought I would. Again, sort of like Himiko, I'm a bit indifferent about him. I don't dislike him, but I feel like I need to know more about him before I genuinely have reasons to like him, if that makes sense. I like his personality. I don't have any problems with it. It's just me personally. He's not exactly my favorite personality type, but I really want to get to know him better and get to know what that whole mafia thing is about. Like what? You killed people? And I also want to go over how my opinion of the Mono Cubs have changed. At first, I didn't really like the idea of the Mono Cubs because I don't like the idea of making sort of sequel characters. Like, Monokuma is just such a big thing in the Danganronpa series, and seeing him kind of get replaced, that kind of made me think, because usually replacements are never as good as the original Nier, but I really do like them more than I thought I would. Monotaro is very different than I thought. I find him funny. I want Monodamu to talk more. Mono Funny is great. Monosuke is pretty good. I love his accent. I'm playing the Japanese version right now, and the way he skips characters, I'm not sure exactly how to describe it, but if you've heard the Japanese version, you know, when he has this sort of lisp, like how I think the English translation is yous, like when he's referring to what are yous doing instead of you. The way he says it in Japanese is, it's great. I like it a lot. And then Monokido is the most hilarious thing on earth to me. Like, just the moment where he started talking about getting a boner, I was, oh my gosh. I know this is going to be a very interesting game. I'm very excited to learn more about them, and if they're going to die, or if they're programs, or if they're controlled by separate people, or one person, or if they're not controlled, I just really want to know who's behind them. And my guess right now is that they're AIs, but I'm probably wrong about that. I don't know. Or maybe I'm not wrong. I really have no idea. That's just my personal guess. overall, I think the prologue was very enjoyable to play. The music, the art, the visuals, the transitions, the characters, the setting, just everything was so appealing. I really enjoyed it. I'm not certain how I like this game compared to the other games on a scale. I really haven't seen enough of it story-wise to compare it, but I have very high hopes, and I'm very excited to see what's in store. I think that's where I'm going to end this video. If you have any comments, suggestions, questions, or anything to add on, please let me know in the comments. I read every single comment, and I will be sure to reply if you have a question. I can't wait to play the next chapter. I'm about to do that right after I finish editing. So I'm going to tell you my chapter review whenever that comes out. I may pre-record everything, so if videos come out slower than you expect them to, I might be more ahead in the game than I am on my channel, just for the fact that I really am into this game and I want to play it right now. But I will be doing chapter reviews for every single chapter, and I will be going a little bit more in depth in this video than I did in this video, hopefully. I didn't have a script for this one either. Surprise, surprise, I never write scripts. Which I probably should. I'm very rambly. But anyway, this is dragging on too long. Thank you so much for watching. Please tune in for the next Danganronpa video or any other video, and I hope to see you next time. Until next time, mata ne!